I'm John Kavakis for Forum 43, and this is my take. Today, we're going to be talking about Esval's 1941-1942 Packard 187 passenger limousine. Now, this vehicle's been out for a while. The model's been out for a while. Made a pretty big splash when it came out. It's a really great model, but there's still some around, and I think it's worth taking a second look if you don't have one for your collection. Now, let's talk about Packard for just a second. Packard was noted for the big luxurious cars, and they were kind of at the top of their game in the late 30s and the early 40s. They made V12s. They were noted for being very smooth, very powerful. But in 1941, they dropped what they called the twin 6 to 12 cylinder engine and instituted a straight 8. Now, it was a powerful straight 8, 160 horsepower. But there were a lot of people who were concerned that, the buyer of these luxury cars wanted 12 cylinders, not 8. So what Packard did was they had a race. They did it at their proving grounds and showed that the 180 with the straight 8-cylinder, 160 horsepower, was actually smoother and faster than the V12, the twin 6. So Packard was always very good at taking care of their customers. They had an image they wanted to protect, and they did a good job of that. And Esval's given us a 143rd model of a pretty neat machine. Now, these 1941 Packards and on through 1942, just the beginning of the war, came in a lot of different styles. There was a formal, there was a LeBaron sedan, there's just a variety of them. This is a long wheelbase limousine that came in to seat either 7 or 8 people. This is a version that sat 7. I don't know what the seating configuration was, but it's a nice model. Let's put it on the turntable and take a look at it. So as we've come to expect, and I've spent a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, looking at Esval models, they just do a great job with their finish. So this is probably Baja Maroon. I'm assuming that because all of the other 1941 Packard colors were poly, and this is not a poly, but it's a deep gloss. It's even, it's beautiful, it's lustrous. It's just great paint. The trim is superb. I love the little antenna that sticks up from the top of the windshield. It's just so delicate and so much to scale. It just reminds you of how fragile the cars is and what great pains they go through to try and make an authentic replica. The trim on the side mount spare tire cases is very delicate, nicely picked out. The mirrors sit right on top of them, beautifully done. Windshield wipers are to scale. Trim around the windows is good, and this is one of my pet peeves. It's not just Esval that does this. It's almost all of your resin 143rd in that $100 price range. It is a little flat, and they've done a great job with the trim around the rear window. It looks fantastic. Trim around the windshield looks to scale. It's just well done. But those side windows, it looks a little flat and a little lacking in dimension. And I have to say the same thing for the trim around the belt line. Now, the bumpers are lustrous. The chrome is just really well done. Lensing is superb, as we have come to expect. They have replicated the 1941 front end perfectly. The hood ornament is very well done. It's a beautiful car. If I have any complaints about it, it's the wheel covers, but I'm just finding this in this scale and this price range. Again, the wheel covers lack dimension, they lack depth, they don't look toy-like, but this would kind of be the icing on the cake if we were going to go full out 100% authentic. But then we've got to take value into mind, and so for the price point, this is perfectly acceptable. Now, this is a 1941 model. They also have a 1942 model, and I'm going to put that on the turntable as well, and we'll take a look at them together. One of the things that Esval does so well is they'll take one master and and make two distinct models out of it. I give them credit for going the extra route on this one. And the first thing I want to point out about this 1942 model is this color. It is spectacular. It's one of those colors that's so dark blue that you really got to see it to appreciate it, and it probably appears to be black in a lot of the pictures you've seen. But again, it's beautiful, lustrous finish. The trim is the same, but the little things, the different front end for the 1942 model. Esval has captured that perfectly. The mirrors being moved from the top of the spare tire carriers to the wings on the doors. The rear bumper is different. If you notice, the rear bumper on the 41 model has a little bit of a grating on in the rear, and the rear bumper on the 42 is a bit sleeker, a little better in design. And if you take a look at those bumpers, you also see how well Esval does with their badging. So there they are. That's Esval's 42 Packard 180 and the 41. So let's go to the rating. I'm going to give this a 5 for fidelity. That's becoming the level of expectation with Esval. The trim and badging, I'm going with a 4, but only because of that two-dimensional photo etch thing. I mean, the badging is absolutely exquisite. The things they picked out really well, the piano hinges on the hood and everything, they just do a really great job with that. But those window trims and sometimes the side trim could be a little bit better. Color faithfulness, we're looking at Packard blue and Baja maroon. I think they got that really well. I think that dark blue is really hard to get, and they captured it. Wheels and tires, 3. So value, a bang for the buck, I'm going to give it a 4.5. That takes my take overall rating up to 25.5, and it comes out to a 4-star rating. It's actually 4.25, but I usually round up or round down, so 4.2 would round down to 4 stars. That's 4 stars. So that's my take on Esval's Packard 180 7-passenger limousine. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you joining me. I'll be talking to you again.